We live in an age where those in power are openly using every weapon at their disposal to impose their will upon the future. Where the principles of authoritarianism and individualism stand in open conflict in the streets, in the courts, in the news, in everyday life. Where the choices we make and the choices that are made for us have consequences no one can foresee. You do not stand alone. You do not fight alone. You do not suffer alone. We are united. We resist. We are here with you. As long as there is a truth that remains hidden, as long as lies are spread openly, we will continue to speak out. We will continue to question. We will continue to be the united resistance.
Same thing we always do. Fight them until we can't.
Oh, God, that's right. Man, we got to fight them until we can't. I still love that intro. That intro is so my favorite. You know, I cannot thank Brightest Day enough. I cannot thank, everybody who helped put that together. You know, I mean, still amazing to this day. Gotta love it. Well, I decided to stream tonight, guys, because, for one, I'm not tired. I kind of am tired, but I'm not. I got to wake up at 5:30 in the morning for work, and it is just hitting midnight here on the East Coast, but that's all right. You know, I'm good. But, I mainly stayed up because I wanted to collab with my partner, who I would like to say, if you took the both of us, we are the tag team champions of truth. I mean, that's it. You know, we are the tag team champs. So let me bring in the great Wes Moody, formerly of the Wes Moody webcast, Mr. Whatevercast. Here he is.
Good to be here, man. It's always good to be streaming with you again and be here on High Heresy. So what are we talking about tonight?
Well, Wes, we're going to have a conversation. You and I spoke on the phone about a little about what's going on, catching up, and things have been going on personally. And, based on the recent events, thought it was a good idea to kind of tie it all back to the conditioning of society. And we'll kind of get in on that here shortly. Let's go through and say hello to all our friends real quick before we get started on our conversation here. So I see that first person that was here was Mr. Tehillim.
Tehillim 29. Welcome, my friend.
Absolutely. Shabbat Shalom. Great to see you, my friend. RR is here. What's
Hail,
up,
my friend?
brother? Great to see you. Parrot Head, of course, hashtag Beware the Jew. Great to see you, brother. And you asked how I was doing. Like I said, man, I'm trying to maintain. It's crazy. It'd be crazy out here in these streets.
Hail, Parrothead. I am the Lord of the Waterfowl.
Tobat is in the house. He's double dipping, doing some modding too. Not like he's really working at it, but he's doing it. He has he has a band hammer. Put it that way. That's all. That's all. He's just walking around carrying a band hammer. Tree Rock Creations in the house. What's going on, brother? Love you. God bless my brother in Christ. Great to see you. CJ's here. Um, you know, it's CJ, man. I hope you're maintaining up there in Canada. Oh God, dude, feel for you. Keely Chow is in the house. What's going on, brother? Great to see you.
It's a nice turnout we have here. Got all
Yeah,
our great friends out in the audience. The best chat on YouTube.
Joe's in the house. Joe, also shout out to Joe. Thank you again for the pre-intro. Not enough love given on the pre-intro. Joe put that together. Love you, Joe, for that. Terminus is here. Great to see you. Terminus, my dear friend, man, I love you. And I kind of wanted to save the best for last, and that's Rita and Dwayne. I'm not going to make their business public, but they have had a recent harsh chain of events, and they had a loss in the family, and my prayers go out to them. Our hearts go out to them. And that this community, this audience, this group of personalities, we look after one another. We pray for one another. We pick each other up. And by God, Rita, Dwayne, we are here for you. So
absolutely.
Just know that people love you. And on a personal note, you both mean a great deal to me. I love you like family, and I am always here. So know that, please. That's important to me.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of us have suffered losses over the last year or so. So, yeah, it's never easy.
Yep. Papa Cotton's in the house. Great to see you, Wook. Awesome of you to stop by. Another Monster's in the house. Hail to you, my friend.
I always have to check Papa Cotton's Roman numeral to make sure he hasn't changed it on me.
Yep. Another monster. The Nephilim are abound. Yeah, so this conversation kind of came up going back to it, guys. So what we came up with the show topic tonight for was, honestly, I'd been talking on the phone to Wes, and as I said, we were catching up. And hail LDG, great to see you, buddy.
Hail, my friend.
I hope that you're well, dude. So we were talking about recent events, my personal situation, and I was kind of catching them up, and I spoke about it a little bit last stream. And again, I'm not going to get into the full-blown gory details of it, but those of you that know from the extended stay till now, I've been through a lot, obviously. Will died. I was homeless for a good minute. And I'm working on my comeback season. 2024, by the way, guys, is going to be great for me. I am working on my comeback season for me. And I want you to know that first and foremost, I'm doing it for me. That said, do you guys do remember, because you are keen observers and you have been on this life journey with me, so you know that I had a significant other. Circumstances had our paths diverge, and we haven't been together, but that hasn't kept us from a lot of communication. Um, I'm still skeptical at this point, but tentatively, there seems to be a reunion in the cards, possibly early February. If it happens, great. Um, Not gonna lie, you know, I gave that woman the best of me. I gave her my heart, and when you love somebody, it's a hell of an emotion, and it's not always a rational emotion. But if it happens, I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. But if it happens, um, I'll forgive her. I'll give her another chance, but it'll be the last chance. I can promise you that. But as I said, I haven't lost perspective, and my comeback season is mine. I'm doing it for me, first and foremost. So I want you to know that I have not lost perspective. I am going to be 100% very careful this time. But the reason I bring her up is not necessarily to talk about her, but it's to talk about the overarching problem. And this is very prevalent. You see it a lot in the dating community, especially for those 30 and up. There is an outbreak of narcissistic traits, um, an outbreak of a lot of manipulation, both emotionally, financially, like every way possible. Like just so much psychologically damaged people in general roaming around, because it's not just women. There's a lot of fucked up dudes, a lot of fucked up kids too. And I sat back and thought about the overarching problem. How does this tie in? Well, the conditioning that we've been under. I mean, if you think about it, guys, and Wes, you know this. I mean, how many constant psyops day after day after day, small scale to large scale, are happening among the people of this planet?
Quite a few. It seems to be more and more people are waking up to them. How's my mic? Is it too loud? I adjusted the volume a little bit.
No, it's absolutely perfect, actually.
Oh, okay, good. You got to take that auto adjust off. I've noticed on StreamYard. But yeah, I mean, we've been gaslit all kinds of different ways, both by the mass media, and then, of course, if you've being a child of the boomer generation, and kind of some of us that have come from dysfunctional households, there's a lot of gaslighting happening in those scenarios too that you have to sort through. And speaking of narcissism, the boomers, by far, that's where a lot of our narcissism problem comes from. It's, oh, you can have it all. If it feels good, do it. Spoil the child, spare the rod. All that stuff really ruined the baby boomers. And then they became parents. And, just to give you a point, my grandparents, very diligent about saving their money, wanted to provide for the next generation. And then my parents' generation came along and they squandered all of it. There was, why should I have to give it to you kids? It's my life. I want to, I can have it all. I should, if it feels good, do it. I want to do whatever I want to do. And, now you lead the Generation X and then the millennials and now Generation Z. And a lot of Generation Z, I feel like they get a bad rap. I feel like they're figuring things out, actually.
Gen Xers were, I think, and I'm trying not to sit here and just show favoritism to my generation, but look, I'm going to give us the props we deserve. And that is the fact that, there was a lot of learned self-sustain on us at a young age, because this was the introduction of two working parents. There were latchkey kids. There were, you know, trial and error. You went outside, you played. If your parents weren't home, you know, you kicked it with your friends down the block. You went riding bikes. You went exploring creeks. You went doing
Mm-hmm.
shit you weren't supposed to do sometimes, exploring abandoned houses, construction sites, whatever. But you learned on the fly if you hurt yourself, if you broke a bone, whatever. I mean, you learned. I mean, it was like self-education at that point, you know. I mean, you got the crash course on life because parents weren't always there to shield you from shit. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you got out and experienced it. And I think
Well,
um
that's where our generation, if theirs was, you know, if it feels good, do it. Ours was like work hard, play hard.
mhm.
You know, you got to work hard to play hard. You know, earn that instead of, oh, if it feels good, do it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you got life experience, and you know, and we didn't, you know, we were I think kind of our cultural entertainment at the time, you guys, for us, you know. And I look at stuff like, dude, I got red pilled as fuck from watching GI Joe, no lie. Isn't it funny, the parallel to the global elites and all their bullshit? Isn't that like so reminiscent of a Cobra plot? Just
Abs-
saying.
Absolutely. And then the financiers, you know, Tomax and Zaymont, the
Uh-huh.
twins, that, you know,
Mhm.
they're kind of a front company, and, you know,
Mhm. The
almost
fucking
kind of like
BlackRock.
BlackRock. Yeah.
BlackRock, yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
yeah, it was GI Joe was full of red pills, and you know, those of you in the chat, you know that I feel the same way, and we've even watched a few notable episodes over on Odyssey. But yeah, GI Joe, you don't really see too much of that now. I mean, I don't even think they have Saturday morning cartoons anymore, do they?
oh
Didn't
no,
those
they
go?
definitely wouldn't show that shit.
No.
No, I mean, God forbid that people actually get the message to push back against what's going on. But yeah, it was a total red pill. You know, we had shit like GI Joe, Red Dawn, you know, fucking Rambo. We had just all
America
kind.
with a K. We're living the plot of America with a K right
Yeah,
now.
no shit. You know, we had so much shit. Predictive programming, um, are you know, and I wonder if there was white hats back then that actually, you know, sat there and said, "All right, we're gonna fucking insulate this generation. We're gonna fucking give them the tools."
Yep.
So I wonder if there was, you know, before the global elites got control of everything.
I think so. Yeah, I went on a deep dive on the CIA and, like, you know, Bill Harvey and, you know, James Jesus Angleton and folks of that ilk, and, you know, spycraft and the way the CIA operates. And we got gamed, dude. Those guys got gamed. It's there's so much deception and compartmentalization in there. You know, for example, you know, they were talking about this mole that they never found, or they didn't find till the very end. And you know, James Jesus Angleton is like, yeah, you know, you have to have the patience of a you know, saint to be able to find them. And it's like they didn't even discover the mole for 14 years, and then this mole is like giving them, and it's so obvious that this James Jesus Angleton guy is the problem or is the mole. You know, they need to shuffle people around. They're like, no, how would we know if we're going to be, you know, be able to find the mole if we do that? And it's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the wilderness of mirrors and all that stuff he talks about. That's where all of our problems are. Is, you know, we need to get rid of those guys, the intelligence community. You know, Kennedy was trying to do it above board and out in public, and you know, end the Cold War. Eisenhower was trying to end the Cold War. You know, if you look at, you know, Lee Harvey Oswald was stationed at one of the U-2 sites, and, you know, the radar stuff, and there's even talk that supposedly, you know, the Francis Gary Powers shoot down was orchestrated by the CIA to sabotage Eisenhower's peace talks because he wanted to end the Cold War. And, they just went totally rogue. I think any thinking person with half a brain would have to realize that, the only reason they exist is the Cold War. So it was in their vested interest to keep it going.
Well, you guys know that my activity has dropped on X, obviously. My activity in a lot of this shit dropped out since I started working and everything else, and trying to literally trying to survive, you guys. But I still try to retweet a lot of interesting shit when I find it. And this is one of the things I'm going to share this because it's one of the things I found today. And if you guys pay attention to my account, one of my favorite follows is an account called the Illuminati Bot. And I highly suggest that you give that account a follow because
that's a good one.
They put up some really good shit. And there is one that I want to find that I retweeted earlier. And yeah, I got to find this. So go to my own page real quick. No, I don't want to go to my... Oh, gosh. I'm boomering it right now. Speaking of boomers, I'm like totally boomering my own shit. But come on, pull up my page, yo. God, it's like when I'm not looking for hot chicks, I pull up stuff about hot chicks. You guys in the audience are gonna be like, Drew, what's wrong with you? Why are you not always looking for hot chicks? Just oh God. Hold on. Oh shit, I hope that shit didn't get deleted. It's really, really, really good. Aha, found. All right, let me share this.
R.I.P. the shrimp, says RR. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Let's check this out, guys.
But this is their secret covenant and their clause of things that they wanted to follow. And if you're a conspiracy theorist or a critical thinker and you're aware of what's been going on in the world, you're going to know exactly how suitable this is. This is written word for word, and I want to read it to you.
Just pay attention.
So bear with me. The secret covenant, an illusion, it will be so large, so vast, it will escape their perception. Those who will see it will be thought of as insane. We'll create separate fronts to prevent them from seeing the connection between us. We will behave as if we are not connected to keep the illusion alive. Our goal will be accomplished one drop at a time so as to never bring suspicion upon ourselves. This will also prevent them from seeing the changes as they occur. We will always stand above the relative field of their experience, for we know the secrets of the absolute. We will work together always, and we will remain bound by blood and secrecy. Death will come to he who speaks. We will keep their lifespan short and their minds weak while pretending to do the opposite. We will use our knowledge of science and technology in subtle ways so that they will never see what's happening. We'll use soft metals, aging accelerators, and sedatives in food and water, also in the air. They will be blanketed by poisons everywhere they turn. The soft metals will cause them to lose their mind. We will promise to find a cure from our many fronts, yet we will feed them more poison. The poisons will be absorbed through their skin and mouths, and they will destroy their minds and reproductive system. From all this, their children will be born dead, and we will conceal this information. The poisons will be hidden in everything that surrounds them and what they drink, eat, breathe, and wear. We must be ingenious in dispensing the poisons, for they can see far. We will teach them that the poisons are good with fun images and musical tones. Those they look up to will help. We will enlist them to push our poisons. They will see our products being used in the film and will grow accustomed to them and will never know their true effect. When they give birth, we will inject poisons into the blood of their children and convince them that it's for their help. We will start early on when their minds are young. We will target their children with what the children love most, sweet things. When their teeth decay, we will fill them with metals that will kill their mind and steal their future. When their ability to learn has been affected, we will create medicine that will make them sicker and cause other diseases for which we will create yet more medicine. We will render them docile and weak before us by our power. They will go depressed, slow, and obese. And when they come to us for help, we will give them more poison. We will focus their attention toward money and material goods so many never connect with their inner self. We will distract them with fornication, external pleasures, and games so that they may never be one with the oneness of it all. Their minds will belong to us and they will do as we say. If they refuse, we shall find ways to implement mind-altering technology into their lives. We will use fear as our weapon. We will establish the governments and establish opposites within. We will own both sides. We will always hide our objective but carry out our plan. They will perform the labor for us and we shall prosper from their toil. Our families will never mix with theirs. Our blood must be always pure, for it is the way. We will make them kill each other when it suits us. We will keep them separated from the oneness by dogma and religion. We will control all aspects of their lives and tell them what to think and how. We will grow them kindly and gently, letting them think that they are guiding themselves. We will foment animosity between them through our factions. When a light shall shine among them, we shall extinguish it by ridicule or death, whichever suits it best. We will make them rip each other's hearts apart and kill their own children. We will accomplish this by using hate as our ally, anger as our friend. The hate will blind them totally, and never shall they see that from their conflicts we emerge as their rulers. They will be busy killing each other. They will bathe in their own blood and kill their neighbors for as long as we see fit. We will benefit greatly from this, for they will not see us, for they cannot see us. We will continue to prosper from their wars and their deaths. They shall repeat this over and over until our ultimate goal is accomplished. We will continue to make them live in fear and anger through images and sounds. We will use all the tools we have to accomplish this. The tools will be provided by their labor. We will make them hate themselves and their neighbors. We will always hide the divine truth from them. They were all one. That they were all one. This they must never know. They must never know that a man's color is an illusion. They must always think that they are not equal. Drop by drop, we will advance our goal. We will take over their land, resources, and wealth to exercise total control over them. We will deceive them into accepting laws that will steal the little freedom they will have. We will establish a money system that will imprison them forever, keeping them and their children in debt. When they shall band together, we will accuse them of crimes and present a different story to the world, for we shall own all the media. We will use our media to control the flow of information and their sentiment in our favor. When they shall rise up against us, we will crush them like insects, for they are less than that. They will be helpless to do anything, for they will have no weapons. We will recruit some of their own to carry out our plans. We will promise them eternal life, but eternal life they will never have, for they are not us. The recruits will be called initiates and will be indoctrinated to believe false rites of the passage through higher realms. Members of these groups will think that they are one with us, never knowing the truth. They must never learn this truth, for they will turn against us. For their work, they will be rewarded with earthly things and great titles, but never will they become immortal and join us. Never will they receive the light and travel the stars. They will never reach their higher realms, for the killing of their own kind will prevent passage to the realm of enlightenment. This they will never know. The truth will be hidden in their face, so close they will not be able to focus on it until it's too late. Oh yes, so grand the illusion of freedom will be that they will never know that they are our slaves. When all is in place, the reality we will have created for them will own them. This reality will be their prison. They will live in self-delusion. When our goal is accomplished, a new era of domination will begin. Their minds will be bound by their beliefs, the beliefs we have established from time. But if they ever find out they are our equal, we shall perish. This they must never know. If they ever find out that together they can vanquish us, they will take action. They must never ever find out what we have done, for if they do, we shall have no place to run, for it will be easy to see who we are once the veil has fallen. Our actions will have revealed who we are, and they will hunt us down, and no person shall give us shelter. This is the secret covenant by which we shall live the rest of our present and future lives, for this reality will transcend many generations and lifespans. This is a secret covenant. This is why it's so important to learn about this, because when you learn about this, you create a life outside of the system. When you're aware of it, you can no longer be controlled. When you know what they want to do, you no longer fall into the traps from health, money, empowerment, purpose, higher vibrations, the music that you're listening to, the food that you're eating, the things that you're consumed with, the video games, the porn. All of this is all a distraction to keep you easily controlled. And once you know, when you change that, exactly like they said, they fear it. Because the more of us that rise up and are aware of what's happening, the more they lose their control, which is exactly what they don't want. And this is why we're recreating what the generation is going to look like. And this is why we're all waiting for the uprise, because we know that this entire plan is going to crumble.
Yeah, that's pretty much the plan. What is that secret covenant from? What's the source of that?
That is pretty much what the global elites put together. Now, there's a lot of speculation. Maybe that came out of Freemasonry, whatever, wherever the origins are. But I want to digest what exactly she said, because as you astutely pointed out, Wes, that right there is the whole. I mean, that's everything. That is literally everything. I mean, complete down to the nuts, bolts, control mechanisms. I mean, it's in there. That is their plan, guys. I mean, that's essentially what the Georgia Guidestones were telling you too.
Yep, that is the plan. And I like the fact that she had the solution, and the solution is to, have a higher vibrational energy, to know the plan, and to become self-sufficient, and, and operate outside of that system, and, live a life without fear. And part of the way to achieve a higher vibrational energy really is to get yourself aligned physically, mentally, spiritually, learn to love yourself. And if you learn to love yourself, then you're able to receive love a little bit more easily. Having grown up, just to give an example, like when I was growing up, but my grandmother, God bless her, she was, when my father was going through a lot of his addiction problems, she was just throwing money at it, and she really loved him and wanted to help, but there was a lot of codependency there, and people get addicted for certain reasons, but a lot of that has to do with just not being able to love yourself and receive that love. And if you get right, and you get to know yourself, your personality, how you operate, and love the things about yourself, because we all have negative self-talk, and we all have
Right.
negative voices that go on in your head. And if you find a way to quiet that stuff down, and you get at peace, and you're able to live a life without fear, like, I know what's going on, but I'm not going to fear it because I have the higher vibrational energy. And, I'm looking towards the light and the positive aspects of life, and what's good in life, then yeah, you can defeat them, because fear is their weapon. And if you're not afraid, and you know what the plan is, then it's ineffective. And the more people that are unafraid of what's going to happen, then the less effective their weapons become. One of my good friends, who was a client of mine that passed away last year, I gave the eulogy at his funeral. He used to always, people. He was a very nice guy, but sometimes he'd get taken advantage of. And I'd say, "Hey, man, you're going to let that go?" And he's like, "It'll all come out in the wash." And you know what? That's the attitude you got to take. It'll all come out in the wash.
Now I do want to real quick, hail to Shellback, by the way. Lovely Sherry is in here. What's up, Sherry? Great to see you. We also have Tina Bojan's in the house. Great to see you, Tina, as well. We had a couple people ask, like, all right, what's the actual like source material for this? Like, what was she reading off of? That I'm not sure. Perhaps it's a book called The Secret Covenant. I have to do more research in it, to be fair, and I just want to put it out there. I have not vetted the actual material or passage that the woman was reading. I just know that she's still spot on with the plan. Dudettes, we have been talking about this for a solid year and a half, maybe two now plus, where it's been, this is the exact plan. So, I mean, I get that. Yeah, we want material accuracy. We do. Always aim for that. And I will say this as a journalist, I want that too. But at the same time, that woman is not wrong. That's all I'm saying.
No, that she's not. That is that's what they're going for.
Hail Deej. No, I saw you. I was getting to you. I was just trying to address the hullabaloo about the material here real quick. So hail to you, my friend. Also, thank you for the little pick me up comment on Facebook. I appreciated that on my post as well. Um, so yeah, it is great to see everybody. Wow, we have quite a turnout tonight. 27 watching right now. I want to thank you for all of your supports, for the kind welcome back. It's great. Ken Jackman, great to see you, buddy. Merry Christmas. And Merry Christmas to all of you um, viewing right now. I really
Merry Christmas.
I really hope that all of you have a great Christmas with your families. And, you know, whether you have loved ones around or they're gone, whatever, remember that, you are cared about, you are loved, and we are a family. Never
Yes,
forget
we
that.
are.
We are family. So Merry Christmas to us as well. Myself, Wes, and all of us watching, to our family. So
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a strange Christmas because it's the first one where my stepfather is not with us, and it's been pretty challenging for my mom. So I'm trying to be there to emotionally support her. And it's he didn't have a will, so there's just a lot of mess going on with that, as I'm sure you're aware,
yeah.
and it's really
Good night.
stressing her out. Good night,
Good night.
Becky.
Yeah, good night, Becky. Sleep well. I will talk to you soon. Take care, darling. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Um,
Christmas. Hail
Tiki.
TZ Burton. Welcome, my friend.
Yeah, hail TC Burton. Wow.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, I I'll be honest. I have the holiday blues myself. I just think back on things, and I miss Christmas Eve at grandma's, and the traditions, and then the following day we'd have a Christmas Day brunch at our house. Me, mom, and dad, and grandma and grandpa would come over there, and I miss it because I don't have any family to celebrate with. And of course the bizarre stuff happened with me and Vanessa, because really this was supposed to be me, Vanessa, and Cannon's first Christmas as our own family together, and that never happened for the reasons that this whole bizarre the way that it unfolded. But yeah, it makes for a lonely Christmas over here, but I'm still very thankful. I have a lot to be thankful for this Christmas, you guys. I mean, I fought and scratched and clawed my way back from being literally homeless to, as you can see here, a nice 2-bedroom apartment. And I'm not out of the woods yet. It's going to be very much so a challenge to keep this place, but I am thankful for what I have. Whether I have it another week or I have it for the full term of my lease, I am so thankful to be warm and safe, and wake up another day. I thank God for that. It just, I'm just so happy that I really do feel like I'm on a comeback, guys. I do. And I'm so glad that you guys are a part of that. You know,
Yeah, this has been a year of definitely of reflection for me as well. The one thing that I know for sure is that I was put on this earth to make conspiracy chronicles, and that's my life's mission. Everything else is all going to be towards that goal. And so, that's what I'm working on. Writing it, finish writing it, and I think I'm getting a trailer together. It's pretty rudimentary and it needs some work, but hopefully we'll get it ship shape to where it'll be releasable soon.
well, Wes, I realized that my purpose is to, go after truth, to to empower, to lead people to just, say, wake the fuck up. Let's push back. Wake up. Let's push back. That is my purpose. And that is why, I'm so glad that I picked up the microphone again. I'm so glad that I logged back into StreamYard and logged back into YouTube and, that I'm doing this again. This is exactly what Will wanted me to do. He wanted me to get back on the horse. Right before his untimely passing, he said, I hope you start doing the show again, Drew. I really love being a part of that. God, did he love that, you guys? And he loved that you guys got a kick out of him. He really did. God, but he told me, he's like, yeah, get back to what you love, man. He's like, I know you're distracted by so many other things and you're working full time, but he's like, put work out of your mind, put Vanessa out of your mind just for that 1 hour and a half and just go and get on, tell the truth and kill it. And he's right. And I'm glad that I did that because it's important. Because when we're talking about things like this, when we're talking about what our society's turned into, how we've been psyoped, how we've been conditioned, why people are running around with so many rampant mental disorders, why all of a sudden do we not have mental treatment facilities anymore, proper ones? Why don't we have asylums? Why don't we keep those with dangerous, mental damage away? No, all of a sudden there's a rush to reintegrate them. There's a reason we had asylums and things of that nature. It wasn't to mistreat people with mental and emotional disorders, but there are some that just won't come back from those. And frankly, they're just twisted, fucked up people because of them. And they can't come back from it because they're so far gone. But these people are just rolling around in society unchecked, functioning like they're fine, and they're not. And it's scary, guys. It's scary. But this is a direct result of what, like that woman was talking about, what the plan is, what it's always been. Man. Now, what saith you, Wes?
Well, a lot of times as far as the asylum issue gets, a lot of that gets laid at Ronald Reagan. Oh, Ronald Reagan closed them all down. Not true. A lot of them got closed down because of, Ken Kesey and kind of the, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and the kind of the muckrakers of that day, had a drive to shut down the asylums. So, it wasn't Ronald Reagan that did it. Sorry, folks. He just signed the bill doing that. I think that a lot of it is we just don't have, if you look at, we don't have the structure at home to give people the tools and skills and abilities and the coping mechanisms that they need. I had to learn all that stuff in my 20s. And, I was a very angry man for a long time. And a lot of it is becoming self-aware. And I think if you don't get those tools, you probably could, society could get you to the point where you're breaking and you go a little bit crazy. I mean, there's a lot of aspects to it. There's, the mass media propaganda that we get. And then of course you've got MK Ultra, and that created people like Theodore Kaczynski. And
that's still in play now. That hasn't stopped.
Yeah, the Theodore Kaczynski or Sirhan, that whole story is pretty weird. If you go down the rabbit hole on that thing, the chick in the polka dot dress and all that. So, I mean, there's a lot of aspects to mental health, but self-awareness and self-help goes a long way. And does it really suck that I burned through my 20s really to acquire what would be considered basic social skills? Yeah, that kind of sucks. That I didn't have that kind of a stable childhood where I could have done that stuff. Having a drug addicted criminal parent, one of them. Thankfully, I had another parent that was very good. I mean, she kind of went too far in the opposite direction, in my opinion, but it's better. I could see why she did, given the way my father was. But, I mean, just simple stuff like, people used to think I was super negative all the time. And so I started to keep track of it. Just you see simple stuff like this. And I noticed that I would only comment on like negative things. And if there's anything positive, I would think it, but I wouldn't say it out loud. And so, that was harmful. That was harmful to me, and it's harmful to other people. I mean, sometimes you have to. I think righteous indignation is a good thing to have, and that's channeling a negative energy into a positive energy. And that's kind of what we're doing here. But no, once I became conscious of that, and I realized that hey, that's, people don't want to be around me because they think I'm negative all the time. And so, and I wasn't even consciously aware that I was doing it.
Right.
And fixing stuff like that was very, very helpful. Being clear about what you want, feeling misunderstood, but it's like nobody's going to understand you if you don't communicate your needs. They're not going to know. Stuff like that's really good for your mental health and that kind of stuff. I mean, I guess on the surface, Klebold and Harris, that was kind of their issue. They couldn't communicate that stuff. And I don't know if it was Sue Klebold, the mother of Eric Klebold, or the mother of Eric Harris, but this is kind of the stuff that we're talking about. The mom was just like dumping stuff on this kid and like talking about feeling unwanted and how men were abusing her, emotionally, and how she felt unwanted by men, and just like dumping all this shit on this kid. And like, you don't tell your son this stuff unless you want the guy to kick, want him to kick the guy's ass. Right. Save that for your therapist or like your sisters or female friends, but don't dump all that shit on your son and start crying in front of him all the time. Of course the kid was going to be depressed and do something like that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I sit here and I think about, I made the joke many times with my friends, and I told Will this too. I was like, dude, if I look back through, just the past like 20 years, recent relationship history, that I've had with women, it's like for some reason I have a neon sign on my forehead that says damaged women apply here, because, I attract ones with bipolar disorder or BPD, broken personality disorder, or, the narcissists, or, I mean, it's just a smorgasbord of mental illness, and I seem to get that. Well, hello, Gambit. Good boy. But yeah, it's just it's crazy, but there's so many damaged people, but they wind up in abusive relationships with other damaged people. It just
trauma bonding.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's why I'm leery about this upcoming supposed tearful reunion that may happen, but I'm gonna still go with my heart on that one, because I do tend to always believe in the good in people. Some would say that's a weakness, and I consider it a strength in myself. And you guys remember from Mama Heretic. That was Mama Heretic's nature too. That's just the way that I am, and I always will be. I'll always try to find the good in people, if possible. I mean, when I see somebody that's patently evil, I mean, I'll say, yeah, they're just fucking patently evil. But I do most oftentimes try to find the good in people. Wes, I know that you're going to make a point, so I'm going to pass it off to you. for a few minutes while I step away really quickly?
Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, so just to kind of go into what Drew was saying here about evil, I think that evil is a pretty small minority of the population, to be honest with you. I think I've said it before, and I'll say it again. And this is a quote that this is my quote: "Evil loves to con and connive, but its favorite trick is to get good men to do evil things. Don't be that guy." And that's really what is happening with most of our society today. Now, you can say whatever you want to about the global elites and being evil and demons, perhaps, but or their puppets, your Bidens and Newsoms. But um, what really you have to remember is that the humans that are running the world, even the ones behind the scenes that seem especially evil and demonic, they're still human beings. And much of what they're doing is out of fear, and fear of law, the illusion, losing control, not even really having simple things like being able to go on a date or be in love for those people. And just not all the money and power in the world can't buy that stuff. And if you look at if you do the deep dive on the CIA and the intelligence communities that I've done, just the lies and the fear of getting caught, all of that stuff, you now who they serve is a different story. The archons, demons, interdimensional aliens, whatever you want to say, what they're serving, whatever they're serving, that's something different. But they're human, and we need to treat them as human. And that means they can be arrested, they can be held accountable, and all we have to do is just stop. Just stop being afraid and stop listening to them. And at some point, realize that all of that money and the illusion of power isn't going to buy you happiness, and that happiness is the goal. And how you get to happiness isn't by hurting other people. It's by having a connection with other people, having a connection to the Creator, learning to love yourself. And Papa Cotton says, I don't think everyone gets a soul. Yeah, the ancient Gnostics had a theory for that. They called those people the Hylic people, Hylic. So there are three different types of people they believed. The Hylic people, who are basically just meat sacks that don't have a soul. Then you have the psychic people, which isn't psychic in the sense of second sight, but that they have an awareness that there's a realm or a higher power or a higher region, the non-material world. They're aware that it's there. And then you have the pneumatic people, which would be like a Jesus Christ, that is gifted and has the divine spark and can actually access the non-material world. And I believe some of the ancient Gnostic sects believed that not only was he able to perform the miracles by tapping into the non-material world, but that he was actually teaching other people how to do that. So it's very interesting. Very interesting when you go do a deep dive on it. Have you seen the movie Leave the World Behind, Drew?
I have, yes. I haven't seen it in a minute though. I need to watch it again. I do want to acknowledge the $5 super chat from Griffiths. Says Merry Christmas. Hope everything goes well. Griffiths, thank you.
Thank you for your support, my friend.
I can promise, guys, everything one way or the other is going to go well. It's going to come up aces here because I'm going to fight like hell, A, to keep a roof over my head, and B, I look at it like this. I'm in it to win it, guys. I'm back. I'm going to do what I'm meant to do, and that is be that supreme heretic, that voice of truth, and do the work of still waking people up. Besides being a friggin' 9 to 5 wage slave, like we all are, or a lot of us are, in this case 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. wage slave. But I mean, I'm gonna do what I need to do. And it's funny, again, not to speak too much on Vanessa, but I talk she would talk about the material I do on the podcast sometimes, and she's like, talk about what she agrees with, and she's like, wow, you really think the world's gonna end, or there's gonna be like some kind of civil war or something? And it's like, there could be. I was like, but I intend to survive. I was like, that's why I always told her, if we get a house, best believe I'm gonna build a damn survival area in the basement. I wasn't joking. And she's just like, yeah, I could really see my kid playing in the middle of the survival area. I'm like, yeah. I was like, think I'm joking. But, she's more the type that's like, the stand on the beach scene and hold each other at the end of Rogue One while the friggin' flame comes to consume you. Nah, fuck that, guys. This guy don't do that shit, you know. So, just saying. If anything, I'm gonna be around to be a resistance leader. Fuck that shit. You know. And if you happen to watch this at some point, Vanessa, sorry, babe. That's just me.
Yeah, it looks like there is something happening with X, Twitter.
Let me try to pull up Twitter because
let's talk about a little bit about that Leave the World Behind movie. I actually kind of enjoyed it. It was interesting. It kind of was a bummer, like The Road is a bummer. I do notice that they seem to be, if we're talking about, reading between the lines and stuff like that, they did have a part where they showed a bunch of Teslas being hacked and clogging up the roads, which, by the way, is my criticism of the Teslas. The like the Cybertruck uses steer by wire and all that stuff, which is pretty scary. I'd never buy a car that has steer by wire. And the autopilot, I mean, it just seems like, with the updates and everything, it could be, very hackable. And, I just like the sound of an internal combustion engine and all the strip mining and stuff with the batteries and how to get the material for them. I'm not a big fan of. There's a lot of reasons I don't like electric cars. But yeah, the movie was interesting. So if you haven't seen it, Julia Roberts' character plays a total cunt, and she's married to Ethan Hawke, and they have 2 kids. And one day she just sees an ad for this house, and she's like, "We're going to get away for the weekend." And they go out in the middle of nowhere. And then, they're in this house, and all of a sudden, Mahershala Ali shows up. And I think they're trying to imply that Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke are somehow racists or something. But there's never like any of that from the characters as far as I can tell.
Joe made a good point about that, Wes.
Yeah. So it's, it does seem pretty realistic. But what's interesting is that, the Obamas are the ones that produced it, which is weird. So yeah, the question is it predictive programming? I don't know.
I think it's for faux predictive programming.
It seems to be, designed to drive fear. But if that happens, be prepared as much as you can. I probably should stock up on some food and some canned goods while I can, now that I'm thinking about it.
It's faux predictive programming, as far as I'm concerned. That's my take on it. And I mean, look, guys, you probably saw that trailer for that Civil War movie that's coming out. I saw the trailer for that. Again, it's produced by woke people. So what do you think you're going to have with that? It was cringy in the trailer for that. So, it almost looks like from that trailer they're like to say, oh, my MAGA people are terrorists. That's kind of
What?
just
Well, yeah, they portrayed the prepper, the Kevin Bacon character, as you know, a loner that wouldn't help them. I find it I don't believe that the Kevin Bacon character wouldn't have helped the son, and we still never knew what happened with the son. The son ended up losing his teeth, supposedly got bit by some bug or something, but it's never explained in the movie. I just, most prepper people that I meet, he had his weapon. I think he probably would have helped them. Although most preppers I know, once Mahershala Ali pulled his gun,
yeah.
that prepper would have blown his head off. I
Yeah.
mean,
Good night.
that never.
Good night, Woke Breaker, and Merry Christmas.
Good night, my friend.
Deeds, yeah, right on the money, Deeds. Yeah, it was a pretty fucking cringy, actually.
Footloose gone commando.
Yeah,
It's funny.
but yeah, that's what it is. And Rita's spot on. They're trying to get, patriot people in general to do something stupid, to be the ones that they can point the finger at and say are militants and terrible people and everything else, and that's not the case at all. We obviously know that. January 6th, you guys saw it from my live stream. You guys saw the stuff I was filming. It was peaceful, and it was a complete setup and smear for people that were deemed patriot people. That's exactly what that was.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we just need to end these intelligence agencies and start prosecuting these people, because that's our problem right there, or them. And get rid of these, use the anti-terrorism laws against like your Black Rocks and your State Streets and your vanguards. That's what you got to do.
Yep.
Seize those assets and start rolling these folks up. They're human. They're not demons. Don't be afraid of them. The only thing that allows them to get away with it is that people play that game. They think they can get a taste of that money and power, and they find low IQ people like your Kamalas and your Bribens. And, you get people like that don't put up with that stuff, and we'll start rolling them up. And we're not going to be mean about it. We're not going to start hanging people. They're going to get a fair trial, and we'll end that. And we'll have a world. We're on the edge of perhaps a golden age, and with things like AI and see, that's what they're really afraid of. They're afraid of us getting our hands on things like AI, because the internet basically has already rendered them obsolete as it is. The way that you can connect with people, and you don't need establishments with the internet and with AI. You can figure out what you need, and if you're creating something, either an IP or anything else, widgets, whatever you want to call it, you could be so efficient with your supply and demand that way that you don't need all this infrastructure and establishments. You don't. And so if that gets in our hands, it just shows how obsolete those people are and how we don't need the elites. And that's what they're afraid of. That's why they want to lock on this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like I always talk about the 13 original bloodlines. That's exactly those people. They feel like they're entitled to everything in the world and nobody else is. And that's the fucked up shit about it. But yeah, hey, look, we should all be thankful for something. Cold beer is one of those things.
Yeah, man. What beer are you drinking? What are you having? What are your top 3 beers, Drew?
Dude, I'm a simple guy. Like, honestly, like I don't do fancy beer. I've never been a huge alcohol drinker to begin with. Like, if I drink alcohol, though, I'm usually drinking some kind of whiskey, some kind of bourbon, and
same here.
That's that. I don't really do a lot of beer. I mean, I'm that dude that sits back on a Sunday. If I got beer and I'm watching football, I'll drink Coors Light, whatever, and that's just
Yeah, of the American beers, I do think Coors is the best.
I like Coors regular and I like Coors Light. I always have. I'm just not a huge fan of beer.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm like you. I drink a bourbon, but when I was drinking beer, probably my top 3 beers would be Sierra Nevada, or I'm sorry.
I mean, I drink
Get,
far too much Dr. Pepper, to be honest.
yeah. A Guinness Stout would be number 1, then Guinness Draught, and then probably Sierra Nevada, probably be my number 3.
Yeah, right on. Which, speaking of, give me a second, folks. I'm going to pour myself a bourbon.
I am actually not drinking tonight. I'm trying to cut down. I've been drinking so much lately. So I got to tell you, for a while there, because things were so shitty, I was actually having, I was actually popping like half a gummy every once in a while just to get through the day. And then I'd applied for some jobs, so I stopped that, and my alcohol consumption went way, way up. And I'm just taking a break from everything, I think, for a while. I got to say though, if you have to pick something, probably weed's probably better than liquor. The only problem is sometimes I get a bit of a brain fog. Tina says, when I used to drink carbonated beverages, Guinness, Samuel Adams, and honey beer from my local Polish market. Oh yeah, those are good choices. TZ Burton says, Bud Light is not for us anymore. We ain't trans. Wait, my avatar is. Yeah. I never liked Bud Light, but a lot of the college bars would serve Bud Light, and that was kind of their thing.
No, I never really fucked around with Bud Light. I mean, back in the day, I used to drink it, but I got off of Bud Light just because it really didn't have taste. Somebody mentioned Leinenkugels. I've had Leinenkugels before. I've had the Summer Shandy. I've had some other stuff, and then there's in my region, because I live in Ohio, there's one that comes out of Pennsylvania. There is the Yingling. I do like Yingling. Yingling's not bad. I would say besides Coors and Coors Light, I would say Yingling and maybe Leinenkugels. And I also, Mick Ultra deserves an honorable mention because I've had Mick Ultra before. Mick Ultra is not bad to me. So, yep, I poured a bourbon, guys. I'm happy. You can't see it because obviously the camera's facing towards me. And so you're seeing my back porch out there, my patio. And yes, I have furniture in here now. You can actually see my couch, but behind me, behind the kitchen table, I actually have my dad's old mini liquor cabinet from his bedroom. So yeah, thanks, Dad.
Nice.
Sans liquor. I mean, obviously I have to restock it, but I mean, at least there's a place for me to put bottles of liquor.
Yeah, Maker's Mark is a good whiskey. I like Maker's. When I was in Texas, Maker's was less than Jack Daniel's, so I was like, both were expensive, by the way.
It's funny. I got Jack Daniel's whiskey glass, and I'm drinking Beam out of it, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I think those two got into a duel or something, didn't they?
Yep. Yeah. Well, they're having a duel in my glass.
There you go. Yeah, it's funny. I've got that same glass too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bought a bottle of Jack Black Label, and I got that with it. So, no, Marby, listen, honestly, Beam is not my favorite either, but it's good for when you're on the fucking budget that I am right now, because I'm on a next to no liquor budget. So, when I can get a bottle of Beam for like $14-15, I'm going to take that all day, every day.
Yeah, not my favorite either, but man, are you really $14-15? They sell that for like $9.99 here.
Yeah, Beam is about $14 at the state store. I mean,
Oh,
honestly,
are you one of those states that has like the state liquor, liquor and spirits store? You have to go there to get it.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Oh
We have
God, I don't know.
we have state stores here in Ohio. Listen, guys, if I'm talking about my favorite like bourbon whiskey right now, look, there's two that I really like. One is Woodford Reserve. Woodford Reserve is my favorite. And I got on that when I was staying in the extended stay. Fucking love it. Second, probably Knob Creek, even though one shot of Knob Creek will knock me on my ass. But I love Knob Creek. Good shit. Both of those, awesome. Then third, I'll stick with the classic Jack Daniels. And then, rounding it out, I'll probably say Beam by default just because that's my get me through whiskey when, I'm basically poor as fuck. And that is where I'm at. I'm poor as fuck. So, it's the get me through. So you got to throw it on the list and give it credit just for that aspect.
Yeah, I hear you. Every once in a while, you have those, in case of emergency break glass moments, and that would be, your Jim Beams and your Sky vodkas.
Marby Dog says Jameson is my go-to.
Oh, I love
is
Jameson.
Jameson is fucking smooth, dude. I'll give you that. I like Jameson. That's some good shit right there.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I do.
Jameson's great.
I do. Hey, Sellback, I do love Knob Creek. That is good shit, dude. Um, you know, I tried Evan Williams before. Was not impressed with that.
Oh, that's a hangover waiting to happen right there.
Yeah. Hail Soul Assassin. By the way, I didn't say hi to you before, so
Hail, my friend.
great to see you. But yeah, Jameson's nice, man. I've never had a bad experience drinking Jameson. It's good shit.
Yeah, I like Crown, but Crown sometimes is inconsistent with its alcohol content. I feel like sometimes you end up with something that's a little bit more high octane than 80 proof, and if you're not careful,
Oh, dude, that's like
get a little
I said,
sloshed.
do a shot of fucking Knob Creek, man. A couple of them, you'll be good. 2 shots of Knob Creek, you'll be good for most of the night. I mean, damn.
Yeah. Plus, it comes in that cool sock, the Crown Royal. I always throw
Oh
those
yeah,
away. Do people collect those things? Should I be collecting them? Yeah, whatever.
I don't know. I mean, shit. Back in the day, before they were called Marlboro Red Labels, I smoked Marlboro mediums, and I always kept my Marlboro miles on the side of the fucking package. And it's funny, you guys, I never took advantage of trading them fucking Marlboro miles in. I could have had probably like 7, 8 t-shirts and fuck, I could have had a whole collection of t-shirts and some cool shit from back then, and I never took advantage of that. Oh God, DJ, oh Fireball, oh God, no.
Yeah, Fireball. I have to be in a certain mood for that. Liqueurs usually make me puke.
Ugh.
Gosh, remember cinnamon schnapps? Schnapps was a thing.
Oh God, dude, yeah. No, I bartended for a bit back in the day. You know, hey, I'm telling you, it was funny. Like at my particular bar, it was a corner bar, beer and shot place. So, obviously my customers were mainly, beer and shot people. And one of the biggest seller that I had actually was shots of lemon drops, dude. Lemon drops. Fucking women came in that bar and all they would order, like the two things that I would always get: sex on the beach, lemon drops. Sex on the beach, lemon drops. I was like, all right, but fucking A, man.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah. The apple pie
Hey,
shit.
Lindsay.
Lindsay, the people that make that apple pie shit, I ain't gonna lie, that apple pie shit's good as fuck. That shit does taste like you're drinking an apple pie. It's fucking good, good as fuck.
Yeah, I used to drink a lot more mixed drinks until I just, I'm like, fuck it, on the rocks. Oh, where's Drew going? Come back, Drew. We're being abandoned.
I'm coming back.
Oh,
I was
okay.
just grabbing something on the fly here.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. I have a little I do a little like bourbon and Dr. Pepper action.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I remember, the remake of, fuck, god damn it, why is my brain not working? Nick Nolte, Robert De Niro, no, not Liv Tyler, Juliette Lewis. Da 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 da. Like Robert De Niro was the killer. God damn it! What's the name of that movie?
Cape Fear.
Cape Fear. There we go. Okay,
Cape
Fear. I don't know what's happening with me and names lately. Yeah, Cape Fear. So that cop, the guy who played the detective, was like mixing SoCo, Southern Comfort, and Pepto Bismol. Like, is that an actual drink? I gotta know.
Fuck, if it is, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty weird. And then Robert De Niro killed him, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, bourbon and Dr. Pepper, another monster, surprisingly, is not bad whatsoever. It actually mixes pretty well. Shit, man. I dig it actually. But
Lindsay says Robert Mitchum was the De Niro character in the OG Cape Fear. That is correct.
She
And
is correct.
I think the cop, the detective that he murdered, was the Nick Nolte character in the original Cape Fear, actually. So that was a very nice homage. And T.C. Burton says Juliette Lewis has that unusual hot chick look. You ever heard of plexus nexus to sexus?
No,
when he was hitting on her, that was funny. Shellback says SoCo and Pepto. Yes, sir.
Huh.
Yeah, and Marby Dog says SoCo no bueno. Yeah, it's an acquired taste. It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan, really.
Yeah, like I said, liqueurs make me puke.
Oh, Joe, those many
Gregory Peck was. Oh, I was wrong then. Sorry. Go ahead.
Many Flamin' Dr. Peppers were consumed back in my youth. Going to the bars with a fake ID. Those were consumed at a young age, 17 years old, and I was knocking out Flamin' Dr. Peppers.
God, I remember there was this car show. We did our own version of Hot August Nights in Woodland, California, their Main Street. And it was pretty cool. The dude that organized it was like a gang member and got killed. So they never had it after that.
Shit.
But yeah, this was like 1999, I think. And we kept going around, and our buddy was underage. He was like 20 years old or whatever. And we're like, okay, if you can get somebody to serve you alcohol, we'll buy it for you. We all got so trashed that day. And then, yeah.
By the way, guys, I am wearing an FBI shirt right now, but I want you guys to know, and bonus points if you know the TV show that this came from. But I always just loved the T-shirt because I thought this shirt was great. So this is the only FBI that I respect, because I am a female body inspector. But if you know what that T-shirt's from, because the main character in this program wore that T-shirt, then bonus points for you. But I love this shirt, by the way.
Dang it! I'm trying to think of where I have seen that shirt. Was that in summer school?
No, it was much more recent.
That's funny.
Sorry,
I was looking in the chat here.
It's the show Chuck. It was in the show Chuck.
I don't think I've seen that.
Mm-hmm. but yeah, I love this T-shirt, so I had to get it because it's great. And like I said, that's the only FBI I actually respect.
Supposedly, Lyndon Johnson was a big fan of Fresca. He had a button in. Lyndon Johnson apparently had a lot of buttons installed. So he had a button installed for Fresca, and then he had a buzzer installed in case Lady Bird was coming down and he was nailing one of his secretaries
Well,
to get a warning.
yeah, what you call it?
That dude was apparently beware the Johnson. That dude was whipping his dick out all the time, just
Well,
like randomly.
like speaking of, because I know a lot of people are talking about soda in the chat. We call it pop here, but it's funny because I still find the good old Royal Crown Cola around here. I still find RC Cola around here. You know, believe it or not, there was one place that I found a throwback Jolt Cola. I found some Jolt Cola at one place. And also, and it's still popular, but I drink Verner's too. I love Verner's. It just tastes awesome because it's not like normal ginger ale. But yeah, RC is good shit. If you can find
Yeah.
Royal Crown Cola, it's very underrated. It's good. That is good soda right there. Good pop, I should say.
Yep. My granny used to get that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma from Pennsylvania, that was her go-to for a really long time.
Office girl, I love you.
Gosh, I think we just always called all sodas Coke unless they were root beer.
Mm-hmm. Man,
Remember there was Virgin Cola for a while.
there's a place actually, Wes, like an old school, like those old like drive-in places that you could pull up in, and they have like hot dogs and hamburgers and stuff like that, and just you know um good old comfort food, and they just bring it to you. The chicks on roller skates bring it out. There's still one of those up here that they have open here like every summer season, and it's awesome when you go to that place because they make a what you call it, homemade root beer, and it's really good, really really good.
Yeah, I've wanted to try that. Supposedly there's a way to make your own homemade soda.
Mhm. Well, shit. Now they make a fucking machine for it. You just get one of them Soda Stream machines. You can make all of it.
Yeah, well, that's true. But supposedly this involves some fermentation. So a lot of people think, it ends up tasting more like a wine cooler a lot of times.
Marby, yeah, there's still Swensons all around here, like mad. But this place is local to my town. It was called Dog and Suds, actually.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Son of a bitches, Dogginsons.
Oh man, you know it's good to talk about good things and nostalgia, you guys. But but that's the thing that is important, that we remember who we are, that we remember the good things about culture and the good things that really made our society and our country great. And that's what we need to hold close to our hearts, things like that, because in the coming days when freedom is at a premium, that is what's going to inspire you to get back to it. And we will. And we will. I mean, we're gonna win this. That lady that was speaking in the video about, the secret covenant, she was exactly right. When we know the plan, when we know everything that's going to happen, we're going to win. We're going to win because we take their power just by knowing.
Exactly. You know what I really miss? Drive-ins. And you'd think that now drive-ins, because of like Bluetooth technology, they could just hand you out a little dongle that only communicates with their Bluetooth that you could Bluetooth into your car stereo. And you'd think that drive-ins would make a comeback. I miss drive-ins. You know, you watch a movie like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which ends at a drive-in. It's just like there aren't any around anymore.
You know, I want to get a job doing that. I want to hand people out the dongle.
Hashtag beware the dongle.
Oh man. I really, God, I missed you guys so bad. Hail Philip Gaming, great to see you, buddy.
Hail, my friend.
Ken Jackman says, ain't nothing more American than a root beer and cheeseburger with fries. Yep, dude. Oh.
The earliest movie I remember seeing in the drive-in was Clash of the Titans. Wouldn't that come out in 1980?
Yeah. Deej says they still run it through the FM car radio. Yeah, Deej, we have an actual open drive-in up here. Not too far away from me. I want to say probably about 20 miles or so. In this town called North Ridgeville, they have a drive-in there, and they run it through the FM radio. You have to tune your FM dial to something, and it's tuned to that frequency.
Well, that's another way to do it. That would be really simple. But yeah, those tinny little speakers, though, that's not going to cut it in today's,
Well, no, you don't have to put the speaker up there. It runs directly through your car.
Well, that's much better because those tinny little speakers kind of sucked. God, what movie? Let's see. I saw Clash of the Titans, Twins, Beetlejuice, the He-Man movie. Remember the He-Man movie?
Oh, God, do I?
Yep, that was in the back of the truck watching that. Back to the Future, The Last Starfighter. Oh, man, what a great movie to see in the drive-in.
Oh, yeah, I saw that at the drive-in.
That was fantastic, to see in the drive-in because you could see all the stars and everything that were out, before all the light pollution that we have now. But back then you could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember seeing that movie. See, there's a special experience about the drive-in. Yeah, Lindsay says, I fucking love The Last Starfighter. Yeah, me too. That was such an underrated film. It's such a great film. It's got such a great story, too. Okay, so Drew, CJ sent us a message there with a video. I'm not sure if you want to play that or not. But if you haven't gotten it, I can send it to you. I saw a little part of it. And Joe's Atmosphere says, spent my 12th birthday. Me and my friends playing with our Star Wars figures while watching. Yep.
Oh, man.
Yeah. The Last Starfighter is a must-watch if you're a gamer. And that was a cool experience, too, is having that, the old arcade experience that you don't really get anymore. You just don't get that experience playing on a cabinet like that. And, that small little town, having that outside like that, and everybody gathered around to see what the high score was going to be. So cool.
So is Tron, man. The first Tron.
Yeah. Tron was amazing. That was really groundbreaking. You know what? Disney should have stayed on that course. That was a real shame that they didn't stay on that course.
Well, I remember 79 when The Black Hole was out.
Yeah, The Black Hole was good too. That's an underrated film as well.
Dude, I know. And that film was pretty dark. Actually, Event Horizon was loosely taken off that movie. I
believe it. Yeah, Event Horizon is a little too dark for me. My dad really liked that film though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But my dad introduced me to like Videodrome, which is a very dark movie. That was the kind of stuff he was into. Videodrome, Altered States, that
Scanners.
kind of weird. Yeah, Scanners. That's also Cronenberg, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then of course the '86 the Fly. Boy, you want to talk about a remake that's better than the original? Holy shit!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a great film, great cast, and it was so of its time. It was exactly what you expect. If you're going to remake something, that is how you remake something. Yeah. Scanners is pretty wild. Great cast in that one too. Supposedly, Scanners is kind of loosely based on stuff the CIA actually did. Kind of like The Men Who Stare at Goats and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Project Stargate. Wow, that's
Oh,
gross.
yeah.
'Cause The Fly was a gross little piece of body horror. I'm pretty sure that when in his cabinet of parts that fell off of him, you can kind of identify, there's an ear, but there's one thing that looks suspiciously like a penis sitting in there, which is kind of gross.
Yeah. Yeah, if they would have seriously showing a dick falling off, I'd have been scarred for life. I've been like, fuck that.
Yeah, you don't want to show that. It was bad enough when he was pulling his teeth out, Whoops. Let's see. Hang on. Ken Jack Benz, hail, my friend, and Pumpkins for All. The first half of The Fly would make an excellent superhero origin story. It would, actually. Yeah. Seth Brundle Fly.
Well,
I mean that movie was so the tension and the way that the pods, the way the doors opened and the sound effects and showing the computer stuff was, and then the failures too when they turned the goat inside out. Ugh. Or was it a monkey? I don't remember. Yeah. Whatever.
hey, Deej, take care of yourself. Good night, buddy.
Good night, my friend.
A lot of people asking for a Last Starfighter sequel. Yeah,
I don't think you can. I came up with a pretty good idea for something that was inspired by it that I was thinking of writing.
I have heard rumblings that they were going to do a remake of The Black Hole, actually.
Huh.
I don't know how you would pull it off because, dude, I'm sorry, having Ernest Borgnine in that movie and Robert Forster and bringing guy that played in Psycho, Anthony Perkins. Man, you can't beat that shit.
Nope.
That was such a good cast in that movie.
Let's see. We had a comment about Cronenberg here.
Dwayne's asking about Devil's Tower. That is Close Encounters.
Yeah, Joe's Atmosphere says Cronenberg was fantastic. Anyone remember the one did with Olive Reeve, The Brood? Scary shit. I don't think I've seen that one.
This is true, Lindsay. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm afraid of remakes these days. I really am.
Well, there's shit because the wokeness always invades.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last really good indie film was that I saw. And I think Safety Not Guaranteed. I loved Safety Not Guaranteed. That movie was so underrated. And that's why I was so excited about Colin Trevorrow being involved in the sequel trilogy. Look, I think that episode 7 set up enough stuff that if they would have stuck episode 8, see if they would have had, and then I saw Ryan Johnson's work and I was like, well, he's pretty mediocre. And sure enough, that ended up being the case. But man, if they should have given episode 8 to Colin Trevorrow. I bet you he would have done a great job on episode 8.
Probably.
Yeah, that's a real shame that because Safety Not Guaranteed didn't even really have a large budget, but it was just so well written and directed and acted for what it was. If you haven't seen it, you should.
I wonder about. Oh God, I'm trying to think of the the movie I was just thinking of, because there was something that slipped my mind. Actually, I'm probably in the minority, and I don't like it across the board, but it was decent for a reboot, remake, whatever you want to call it. But I don't know. The newer Red Dawn wasn't horrible. Was it far-fetched? Absolutely. It didn't go as believably as the old one, but it was still pretty good. Fairly good.
Well, supposedly there was studio interference on that. So who was the enemy? Was it North Korea or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was originally supposed to be China, supposedly, and China said nope.
Yep, because it's too true to life.
Yeah, honestly, it's these elites and these intelligence agencies that are the real culprits, and them making deals with their elites, and they're not interested in a republic or a democracy or any kind of transparency, and that's why we've got to get rid of them.
No,
I mean, they know this whole thing's a bunch of bullshit, and that if there's a war popping off, that would be the end of the world. But for them, that if they can't have the world, that's a preferable situation for them. That's them acting out of fear. They're like, if we can't have the material world, no one can.
Well, they're just going to build fucking Cylons.
Yep. Yeah, they both work kind of far-fetched. See, the thing is, talking about the Cold War, when Kennedy got into office, Kennedy was running on a missile gap. There was a missile gap we had with the Soviets. And then he got into office and he found out not only was there not a missile gap, but if there was, the missile gap that there was like heavily in our favor, like big time. Like I think they only had a few dozen nukes at that point, and we had hundreds of nukes in 1960, something like that. It's just like at the end of World War II, the Soviets had been invaded and their cities burned, and their population massacred, and they were in real bad shape. And it took them a really long time to recover from that, let alone the fact that they had this totally bass-ackwards, economic system. And we were propping them up. We were shipping grain off to those guys. And it's like, well, if you have an enemy, why are you shipping grain to them? And, even in the 1970s, Nixon with détente and all that stuff. But one of the first things Ford did when he got in was say, look, we're going to have Team B. And that was part of, George H.W. Bush's contribution there. That's going to take a more critical look at the Soviet Union and basically make them out to be more of a threat than they are. RR says, better to rule in hell than serve in heaven. Yes, that's exactly their thought process.
Amen. Oh, well, I will say here in about a good uh, probably 13 minutes, I am going to wrap it only because I have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning. And so I'm going to try to get some sleep because I guess I have to train a newbie today. So that's going to be fun.
Fun.
Well, being in a supervisory position, I get somebody to mess with, so that'll be a good time.
That's good. Yeah, give him a bad time.
Oh yeah, I'll just bust the kid's balls, no big deal.
Yeah.
But
Tell him his mom's a slut.
but yeah, the thing is we need to, as I said earlier, remember where we came from, lean into what's good. Um, don't forget that, because this is the type of inspiration that you need. It really is. Um, I do believe that the majority of us are catching on. A lot of us are awake. A lot of us are gonna stand united when the time's right. I really do feel that way. I feel hope for that. Feel a lot more hope now than probably what I did a year ago, guys. And just being real,
Yeah.
I really do. I get that sense. So, for whatever that's worth, and take it from me, I'm pretty good at feeling stuff because, you know, pretty highly tuned empath here, guys. And yeah, I feel that from people. There's a lot more hope rolling around lately, in spite of everything that's happening right now. Believe it or not.
Well, yeah, I mean, it looks like it'll be. It certainly does seem like there are more people that are awake and that are optimistic, or at least, they're finding that inner peace, finding that connection to the creator, and they're not falling for the BS as much as before. It definitely feels that way. I'd have to agree.
No, there's a lot of people breaking the cycle, breaking the programming,
Yep.
and I believe that. And that's why I think, people like you and I make a difference, Wes. We really do. You know, um, maybe it's the way we can communicate it to people, but we make a difference. And, and I appreciate the comments, guys. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. Everybody forges their connection in a different way.
Fuck off, Shellback. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Well, that's what I always say about people are so picky, and you find this especially with Christianity. You go down the denominations. I mean, guys, guys, I was raised Catholic. I still believe in a lot of things Catholic, but I have an open mind. And see, that is where it comes in, because you have people within Christianity, and they all fight with each other. Christians tell Catholics, "Oh, you're not saved. You're not going to go to heaven." Christians tell other Christians that. You know, um, "Oh, you're not washed in the blood. You're not going to go to heaven." But look, I go back to Jesus' original teachings, and that is that, you know, you don't need a brick and mortar church. One of my favorite things is when he was talking to the apostle Nathaniel, and he told him, "Bro, I saw you under the fig tree praying. You were there. I saw you. You didn't think nobody saw you, but I saw you. My father saw you. You know." And he just told him that. He's like, "Yeah, I know you, man. I know exactly who you are." And the dude was blown away because he never met Jesus before. But it was just like, damn, you know, him and his dad, they heard my prayer. And that's the thing. I mean, all it takes is your own walk with God, your own connection with God, or whatever you feel is your higher purpose, higher power. You know, that's the thing. You don't need to gather with everybody. You don't need a brick and mortar church. The church is in here. It's in your heart. It's in your soul. And that was what Jesus was getting at. You don't need a brick and mortar church. His ministry was built on taking it to the people. You have your own walk with God. You interpret shit how you interpret it. It was never about this man-made mass control mechanism.
Yep. So, what do you think is going to happen on November 5th, 2024?
Dude, I'm interested to see this election cycle and everything that's going to play out. Because I have never seen such a blatant display of treasonous behavior like that shit that happened just in Colorado, them taking Trump off the ballot 4-3. I'm sure you guys saw that, by the way, guys. And listen, I don't think the Supreme Court's going to let that stand. They're going to tell Colorado to fuck right off with that.
I think so. I think so too. I'm very concerned about the orange man's safety. Got to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Very concerned.
And Lindsay's correct about this. We are in for a wild ride. And I do honestly think, in my heart of hearts, there's going to be a reckoning, guys. If we're going to have to make that reckoning happen, there is going to be a time where we are really going to have to be a true resistance. I mean, and I'm not just pushing the name of the hashtag or the name of my show. I mean, we really will have to be a united resistance.
I think,
yeah,
I think, hope for the best, expect the worst. And, you think about what things look like, in case Orange Man isn't going to make it to 2024. But
no, they're going to take a shot at him. They're going to try to kill him. Sadly, but I'm just saying, guys.
Yep. Lindsay says we've got a wounded, dangerous animal in the corner. Act accordingly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They are scared shitless because not only are they going to lose everything, but they're possibly going to be exposed as being as useless and as evil and as deceptive, and not only as deceptive, but as deceived as they are. And I mean, like I said earlier in the stream, if you go back and you look at James Jesus Angleton and Bill Harvey and some of the stuff that the CIA was involved in, where they recruit these people, the kind of bubble they lived in, and some of the shit they were involved with, and how they got deceived, and just how I used to think, no, there's no way they can't be this incompetent, but they are. They're incompetent, and much of the stuff they did was to kind of preserve their own existence at the expense of world peace or our country or nationalism. So not only are they stupid, but they're very arrogant, and that stuff coming out. It's all about self-preservation for them. It absolutely is exactly that, a wounded animal in a corner.
Yeah, hail to you, Matty. Good to see you, buddy. Great to see you, man. And Wes, you're spot on with that. I don't know, but we'll see, Ken Jackman. But as I said, we're gonna We're going to keep the Republic together. We're going to keep the principles. It's all laid out in the Constitution. You can never turn your back on the Constitution. That's the blueprint. And that's always going to be the blueprint. That's what's going to keep our freedom. Just need to stick by that document. And we will. We will. I truly believe we will. Another monster. I say, let's go Voltron Force.
Absolutely. Hey, I think Vehicle Voltron was underrated.
Yes. 100%, brother. 100%.
Yeah, because there's a timer. They had a timer where they could stay assembled as Voltron to take the bad guy out, and sometimes they didn't take the bad guy out in time, which was pretty awesome. And I liked the ending of Vehicle Voltron actually better than the ending of Lion Voltron, where the Drool Empire is falling apart and their planet's being decimated, and they make peace with the remaining Drools.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty badass.
Yeah.
Like the Drool Empire had actual good motivation, as where Zarkon's people didn't.
We're just idiots.
Yeah, they're pretty much just two-dimensional evil.
Yep. All right, Wes, I'm going to let you plug anything you got going on and talk to these great folks in the audience about what you're doing, and then we're going to say our piece and get on out of here.
All righty. Well, I am Wes of Whatevercast, youtube.com/@whatevercast official. I do sporadic, mediocre YouTube content. And I'm also the creator of Conspiracy Chronicles, as many of you know, and I'm trying to get a viable trailer together for an Indiegogo, and we possibly may be doing comic book issues for each of the episodes of the first season. So Conspiracy Chronicles is going to be in 4 parts of about 12 episodes for part 1, 12 episodes part 2, 12 episodes part 3, and then a movie to wrap everything up would be part 4. But, it's a boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy fucks off to the woods to heal his broken heart, only to find trouble. His family's property, there's an evil biker gang there, and they kind of get into it. So that's part 1. Can't wait to get it made.
Yeah, man, I really want to see that, Wes. I might be a little biased because you're one of my best friends, but listen, guys and gals, he is working on something special with this. I really do feel that way about this project, and I'm 100% behind it. I think what Wes is putting together is pretty darn good. As far as what I have for you folks, I want to say, I'm still working on a time in a day to really bring back United Resistance in earnest. I want to do that. I just got to figure out where it fits in with trying to work and obviously trying to keep a roof over my head, because that's priority 1. I want to obviously tell everybody again, Merry Christmas, brothers and sisters. Merry Christmas. I love you guys so much, truly, from the bottom of my heart. That invitation from way back in the day still stands. If that reunion does happen, obviously, I'll invite you guys to my wedding. Regardless, whatever chick I end up with, I'll invite you guys to my wedding. You know that. Well, who am I kidding? But I do hope that she and I can reconcile. I still do believe that deep down she and I have something, even though she's still quite damaged. But you know what? Hey, I got a big heart. I got enough heart to go around.
Well said.
But I love you guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
When we convene another stream, hopefully before Christmas, but if we don't, after, we'll get together and we'll just talk about how our Christmases went. I want to hear everybody's Christmas stories, what you guys did with your families. Just let's have a good time together, because we need that. As much as it's great talking red pill subjects all the time, just getting together and us bullshitting and talking about our camaraderie, our Christmases, our families, and our family amongst each other. That means the world too. So, don't forget that, guys. Yeah, Merry Nephilim, yes.
Feliz Kwanzaa.
Oh God, dude. Feliz Navidad to all the legal and illegal Hispanic folk out there, and we will see you again quite soon. So take care of yourselves.
Thanks for hanging.
Yep. Good night. Oh, wow.
Good night.
I still got this stuff, Wes. Look at this.
Spending $150 million on cocaine would make sense.
Yes, it would.
What a cool guy. So full of gratitude.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, hi, Coast Casino.
Hey, welcome to Sporking News Podcast. My name is Scott.
I'm E. Temple Queen of the Place to Be Reviews.
I am the Patriot, True Taylor, aka Supreme Heretic.
The Red Gaze on YouTube, at the Red Gaze on Twitter.
What up?
Hey,
hello, everybody.
It's
me, Vinny.
The voice of Immortal Coil.
Oh, hey, I am the Ghost Bear.
What's going on, Tommy? You didn't get anybody to like this?
Yeah, I'm Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast.
Tone Death, rock and roll.
So young.
We have a lot of cool things over there. I did some magic tricks.
Hi, guys. Try to stay here.
My name is Monkey Knight.